Welcome to a Labor Day special episode of the Talking Shop podcast. I am Josh from Grand Slam Cards. Got Michael over here from at Medium Rare Cards over on Instagram. We don't have Jacob today, so we're flying solo. Jacob is embracing Labor Day by not laboring. I can't blame him. Today's episode, even though they don't know it, is sponsored by Wendy's. They don't know it and they haven't given us any money, but I'm gonna make them the sponsor. You ever noticed that the collar on her shirt says "Mom" and that's a little subliminal
little
Easter egg? That little Easter egg. It says "Mom."
Love those Easter eggs. Yes,
you're supposed to equate Wendy's with your mom, I guess. So
nice.
But yeah, we're here to talk some shop on Labor Day. What's up, Michael?
Not much. Let me give a quick rundown. Didn't know if you knew this, Josh, but college football started this weekend, so we're going to talk a little college football. We're going to talk about Ohtani signing a long-term deal with Topps, a Marvel Chrome release in the UK. Want to get your take on that. The Wembanyama 101 Superfractor was pulled. Another Superfractor was also pulled last week out of that product. And I wanted to bounce this off you. I think these are contenders for Design of the Year. One no-brainer, Topps Pristine, versus another one that's shocking to me, but Topps Composite Football. We'll also tell you what's new in the shop this week, give you some hits from the shop out of Composite Football, and Josh always does his homework with a crazy stat of the week. But first, Josh, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. So it's always a pretty good weekend here when we had some big products launch on Friday. For our Pokemon fans, Stellar Crown is right around the corner, and we did 2 pre-release tournaments for that on Saturday, so people were able to get their hands on that product. We're going to do a couple more this coming weekend. So the shop was hopping. Sunday is my day off. So it was a good time with the family. Nothing crazy special. I did get I got this. So I was in a lids shop with the kids on Sunday.
Buying some new kicks there, Josh.
So yeah, well, I wasn't, but you know how I don't know if you're if you have any jersey knowledge at all, but Jordan full jerseys are super hard to find. I'm sure it's some sort of a licensing issue. If you're in the chat and you know the answer why, you can find it'll say Jordan 23, but NBA official Jordan jerseys are really hard to find. And so there's I don't know. They aren't cheap, but they had a couple of them at this shop. And so I'm going to display them here at the shop. And I don't know, that was my favorite purchase of the day. It was the only thing I purchased, but I couldn't believe it. So if you have any knowledge to why Jordan jerseys are so hard to find, official ones, let me know.
Yeah, I can't. And it's one of those things, right? When you're not looking for it, then they're probably everywhere. But when you are looking for it, then you'll start seeing them. So I'm sure I'm going to start seeing them now, maybe at card shows. But I don't know. Now that you say it, I don't. But like I said, I'm not looking for it. So now you just got to get MJ to just find him. He's in Charlotte, so just find him and just have him
sign a couple of them.
Yeah, hey MJ.
I'm leaving the tags on because I'm going to display them in the shop. If someone wants to buy one for what I paid, I just wanted to drool over them for a little bit. So
that was lids. Now lids is hats and jerseys, no shoes, or do they have shoes there?
No shoes. This was it's in the Pineville Mall. It's a little corner shop, but it's got mostly jerseys, hats.
Now, did they have the boxes? Have you seen the boxes from lids to where they had the 3 hats, one of them signed, and then a pack?
Yeah, no. All they had for merchandise like that was blasters, some not very good blasters and hanger packs and stuff, Chronicles and draft products and stuff. So.
Interesting. So they had Chronicles and they had Panini products in there.
I don't remember. It was not good stuff. It wasn't even worth if this is a good price, I would buy it to open. It was the low end retail stuff. Don't quote me on Chronicles now that you say that, but
Because I thought
feels like there's a franchisee, maybe privately owned. You can kind of maybe carry a little bit of what you want in there, feel
okay
to the shop.
because I thought Lids was owned by Fanatics.
Yeah, this is like a merchandise shop that says like buy lids. Man, now I can't remember the name of the shop, and I don't have.
What's up,
Jamie?
Jamie? Happy Labor Day to you. So anyway, good to hear that you had a good weekend. My weekend was low key.
Always good.
Always good. Was out and about. Came and saw you in Rock Hill. The shop was hopping, like you said. But on Saturday, college football. I know there were some games last week, but the big kickoff of the regular season started this week. I'm once again an Auburn fan. They beat up on some small school like 73-3. Nuts. But
gives you all sorts of hope.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I don't know if we've talked about this, but larger schools like Auburn, when they play smaller schools to basically come in and get their butts kicked, those schools make a lot of money from that game.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah.
They promise them like half the gate and like some of the concessions. And they some of these smaller schools fund their scholarship program by playing these bigger schools.
Interesting. So there's an upside to going and getting your butt kicked.
Oh, absolutely. So, but anyway, I said, you know what? Me being optimistic again about Auburn football, what would it take, if anything, for you, Josh, to start watching college football on the regular?
Avery said, pause. I think the store Josh was talking about is called Locker Room by Lids. That is the store. Thank you, Avery. But anyway, so yeah, it's got a Lids feel to it. But so
like, what has kept you from watching college football?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I like following Colorado because of Dion. And so I'm a lifelong Dion fan. A lot of people don't know I actually have a little Dion PC from back in the day, a pretty nice little Dion PC. I don't continue to add to it. Since I've been here, I've grabbed a few autographed cards that have kind of come through my way or that I've seen. But yeah, so I love the fact that he gets hated on. It just makes me like him even more because, like,
classic Josh.
It almost feels like he's just kind of being treated a little unfairly. And I know his persona and his personality drives some of that, but so I really like that, and I'm hoping Shedeur does something great. But that would help. I would tune in and watch Colorado for sure.
Okay,
because I'm a Dion mark. I'm telling you, man, I know too much about Dion, when his birthday was, everything. So yeah, that would be probably the big one for me. But I don't know.
I think so. I was thinking, well, maybe this is the year. Number one, the NIL deals that are coming through college football now sort of make it a little more relevant as far as autographs.
Yeah.
What's that? And product?
And some of the product on the shelf. Yep.
And one of the things that has always turned people off that I can't get around was that the ranking system in college football tends to be very skewed, and maybe not the best team is crowned. They just play the weakest schedule and then just roll through. But this year, they're actually having a 12-team playoff in college football, and those playoff games are going to be hosted by one of the teams that's participating. Usually these playoffs are in some neutral field, like to where the weather is really good, like Arizona or indoor somewhere. So now, and to me, it could be a money grab too, because these teams make so much money from these bowl games. But I'm hoping the playoff system sort of gives a little parity. I know you're a big parity guy. You like shaking things up, but Colorado. Let me just share my screen here. This is so so this is the playoff system: 5 versus 12, 6, 7, and so on. And the 12 teams, the way they would look like here would be let's see, hold on. Let me just this is where it gets interesting, right? Because some of these teams, Liberty at Florida State, Ole Miss at Georgia, that could be something. Penn State at Ohio State, Missouri at Oregon. Some of these games just wouldn't happen late in the season. And so what's going to happen, I think, is that this playoff system is going to shake things up and make things really, really interesting. I'm hoping for my Auburn Tigers to make a run. Alabama's going to have a down year. Georgia's looking to kill everybody because they got snubbed last year. So they're playing pissed. But so Colorado, I don't think is ranked this year. But I'll keep you up to date. That's what the Big Ten. Colorado's the Big Ten.
They're kind of an underdog, right? Like they're not one of the biggest teams, so they're not expected to go through and just roll over everyone.
Right.
And so,
right. I mean,
like kind of the underdog.
Who knows? We've got a couple comments from Instagram. T Gibbs, how you doing, fellows? Can't wait to get back to the shop. Can't hate the man Dion at all. So, fantastic.
Did you see what Tyreek Hill said about Travis Hunter? He said,
"No."
He said, kind of like tweeted out, this dude's legit. I don't care if you like #1 pick next year is like, I don't care if you need a lineman or a quarterback, you best grab Travis Hunter. That was kind of the
guy plays both ways, right? He plays offense and defense, right? That's his thing. Is that a two-way guy? It's like,
I didn't know that for sure. I've just always saw him as his wide receiver highlights, but I think you're right now that you say that from last year. I think I've never seen that, but he had some sick catches, the game winner.
Yeah, great athlete. Well, fantastic. Well, guys, drop it in the comments. If you guys watch college football, who's your team? Who you rooting for this year? Josh, he's on record now. He's a Colorado guy. We'll keep that updated every week. I'm an Auburn guy. Hopefully they don't crap the bed halfway through the season, and then I give up on them again. But before we move on, Josh, what's hitting the shelves at Grand Slam?
So we talked big time about 23-24 Topps Chrome basketball last week. We're going to talk a little bit more about it in a little bit because that big Wemby was pulled. And then I'll talk about some other stories with that product since it came out. But that came out. We sold out of everything. Case of blasters, case of hobbies. We have more hobby boxes arriving today. And another case arriving probably later in the week. So if you didn't get your hands on a hobby box of that first round, there'll be a second round this week. Composite football came out. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. We just an hour ago sold the last box of it. So that's sold out. I don't have any more on the way, but I'm hoping Topps will offer me some more ASAP, and then we'll get some more. I like to recap what has come out since the last. We talked about Pokemon Stellar Crown pre-release product is here, and then the actual release is not till the 9th for us, which is coming up, but it's the 13th for all the big box stores. So we're an early release store. So that's on the horizon. We'll talk more about that next week. And then Bowman Chrome Baseball isn't quite this week. It's next week. We'll talk more about that, but keep that on your radar. This week, it's a little light. Pro Debut Baseball is Friday, so we'll have that. The fill-in stuff that I talked about, man, I think that's the only thing this week is Pro Debut, and then a big Bowman Chrome launch last week. Do you remember Bowman University Multisport? The little, they're very colorful little boxes. We've had it multiple times and have sold out each time. We have another big case of that coming Wednesday.
Okay.
That product is famous for having Wemby autos, Caitlin Clark autos, Stroud autos, Bryce Young, Brandon Miller. So all multi-sport, big boys and big girls are in that product. So if you like that product, Wednesday we'll have another douse of it. We've sold out of all Topps Chrome baseball product, except for there's one jumbo box still on the shelf.
Let me get it.
See if it survives the day. But I got a whole bunch more blasters coming. I think those are arriving Wednesday as well. So if you want to get your hands on more Topps Chrome baseball at an affordable price, we'll have more of that. So I think that's everything. We've always got random fill-in stuff kind of always coming, but Pro Debut, I guess, will be the big release this week, and then Bowman Chrome next week.
Fantastic. Well, before we go to hobby news, we got a word from our sponsor.
Are you looking to get your cards graded? Well, here at Grand Slam, we've simplified the process of submitting and getting a card graded. All you have to do is drop off your cards and kick your feet up, while our transparent tracking ensures that you are up to date with every detail along the way. When you log into our website, you'll immediately be greeted with each card in the grading process, along with where it's at in the process and its final grade. And with over 1,000 submissions and some of the top cards across the country being submitted through us, we have become a well-trusted source to handle and submit your cards. So you can do more collecting and leave the chore of grading to us. So don't sit on grading your cards. Get them submitted today at Grand Slam, where grading's made easy.
Love that commercial. Just love it.
We're gonna have to update that. We're way over 1,000 cards submitted.
Exactly. So we mentioned that.
Modern. We'll have to dub over it where I say thousands more.
Like, do it like a bad dub. Like not even your voice. It's one of your kids goes thousands, like right over.
Or like all audio cuts, and I just go thousands.
Oh, fantastic. All right, let's get to some hobby news. Let me share this first one. The first story we're going to look at is there we go.
Anthony, you're an idiot. You can't even type. You said my heart helps every time I hear that. And then you auto-corrected it to whelps. I think you mean melts.
Anthony, I love you, man. You keep commenting and keep give Josh a hard time every week. Let's see. He did, but I don't see that lasting if he wants to go pro. Steven, I'm not sure. But what do you think Steven's talking about here, Josh?
Maybe Dion? Maybe it was when we were talking college football, maybe. Oh, Travis Hunter, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Double two-way. Yeah. He definitely probably won't go two-way pro, but you just stick with wide receiver.
Yeah. And T Gibbs on Instagram says Bulldogs, baby, since day one. Yeah. The Bulldogs are good though. They just reload every year. Anyway, hobby news. Shohei signs a long-term exclusive deal with Topps Fanatics. Thoughts on this, Josh? This doesn't surprise anybody. But what do you think this means for the hobby, for Shohei, and for Fanatics?
Yeah, I think that was that was just kind of par for the course. I assumed that was probably they're snagging up all the big boys. And so you would hate – you have to kind of do everything in your power. The face of the MLB needs to be in Topps products with autographs. And if they ever lost that, it would be not good. So – my favorite thing is watching all the negative Nellies in the comments like the one guy that says, "Who cares? The whole hobby is crap now." Yeah, the whole hobby's crap now. It's never been as big as it is probably, but it's crap now. And then you love that comment right there. I know. Never thought
in 1,000 years, which is like 3 years for Asian people, that an Asian guy is the face of the MLB. This is insanely awesome. Now we're gonna get Ichiro is big.
What's Ichiro is big, not the face, but he was up there. Scroll down. What's that one that says, "Forgive me for my ignorance, but theoretically, wouldn't this bring the resale value of his cards down due to the fact that such a high volume will be produced?" No, that customer doesn't understand that. Talking about autographed cards.
Yeah.
And trust me, they're going to be hard to pull.
I think this is an insurance policy. No one wants to see, like you said, Fanatics not have access to the biggest name. It's a shame. Upper Deck still has, is it LeBron?
Yeah.
They still have LeBron. They still have Tiger. Actually, they don't have LeBron.
Well, yeah. So I assumed, but then
but they have Jordan
when he was in, when LeBron was in Topps Chrome. So there's something changing there. I wish I knew the details. I haven't done enough research to know, but I just know when a product comes out, who's in it. Like Composite had Brady in it, which was awesome. Chrome had LeBron in it, but yeah, I mean, you don't want to go into a shop and spend $500 or $600 on Topps Pristine and not have a shot at an Ohtani auto, or some of these big guys. So yeah, it's one of those necessary things that needed to happen. So I'm not surprised it did, but it's good.
I think it's good too. I think net positive for the hobby. Now he just needs to hire Slow for his next interpreter. Just take your time, Shohei.
Stay as far away from gambling as you can. You don't need to gamble enough.
Don't rush this next guy. Make sure.
If you want to gamble, buy sports cards. Do what Trout does. Buy sports cards. That's scratch your itch that way.
Absolutely. All right. Next story here. Miss you, Jacob. You just fly through this stuff. This stuff makes me feel old. And this one snuck past me. I usually have my finger on the pulse of Marvel releases. This one snuck past me. It was a UK exclusive, and it says that they wouldn't ship to the United States. Like I've ordered stuff from Topps UK before, and they've shipped here. So I don't know why they wouldn't ship this one. But your thoughts on this, Josh? I know Topps has a relationship with the Star Wars IP and some other IP, but never Marvel. You don't have a relationship with Upper Deck, so you've never carried this. Based on who you know that comes in the shop and the stuff you're asked for, is this a product that you would have carried if it was offered in the States?
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, I love going to the comments. You see that one where Mr. S collects? It says, why would Topps, and this is kind of my thoughts, why would Topps make Disney and Marvel UK exclusive only? It's an American pop culture or what? Don't make any sense, is what he says. Yeah. But yeah, that is a little weird. I guess there's probably some logical reason for it that we just don't know. But yeah, that would have been especially in a card shop like mine that does a lot of TCG, things like that. Marvel kind of blends those lines between gaming and, Disney and gaming, and then the sports card stuff. Anything Topps Chrome. I feel like Topps Chrome is it's like a cranberry, Cranberry, the joke, cranberry's worked its way into everything. Into apple juice, you got cran apple, and into grape juice, you got cran grape. Yeah, Cranberry, the marketing guy for Cranberry, is the most successful guy on the planet. It's like Topps Chrome is doing that. Like, what can we put Topps Chrome on and produce? And it's Marvel and it's tennis and it's every pickleball or whatever you can imagine. They'll put that Topps Chrome on and do a. But what keeps it good is their print runs and the chaser stuff. And I'll get a lot of new customers into the shop, and they ignorantly make statements like, this is just the junk era all over again. The amount of stuff they're making of these products. I'm like, well, it's not though, because they're short printing things and they're doing serial numbered things and the autograph. So yeah, base cards, it's probably going to be every bit as much as the junk era for base, but the big collectors and the buyers and the sellers aren't doing that with the base. It's now become the serial numbered and the short print and the case hit stuff. So that's my defense of how much they're printing now, because they're caught in this limbo of like, we have to print enough Topps Chrome so that everybody has a chance to buy some. They want you to be able to walk into a shop or walk in somewhere and be able to buy some off the shelf. So they got to print enough for everybody to be able to open some, but they also need to make sure that it either runs out or that it's harder to hit stuff. So there's always a thrill of a chase and it always stays relevant. So that's the difference between now and the 90s junk era.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, this was an odd, not an odd release, just the timing of this. Just seems odd. I mean, Topps Chrome basketball just released. They've got Bowman coming. There's really, I guess maybe they were like, had this in the chamber and they saw how well Deadpool and Wolverine were doing. And they're like, oh, let's go ahead and release it. But then why release it just in the UK? This was a question mark for me. And maybe I'm biased because I wish that some of this was in the States. Because right now, I mean, at 185 pounds, I think, I don't know what that is. It's probably,
that's heavy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is in dollars. It's probably like closer to 200. But now these boxes are on eBay selling for $500.
Yeah.
On the secondary market. There are a couple questions. Who's signing on this in the comments? I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be the artists that are going to be signing this, not any of the actors. But I could be wrong. I've not seen a checklist. I just saw this and wanted to get your take about whether or not you would have carried this. I would have loved to seen this in the shop. Yeah. I think it would have done really well.
That would be a super just fun box to open as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it looks like look at Steven with the quick math. Love it.
185 pounds is $243 US.
Yeah. So I mentioned this a while back on an episode that Upper Deck is now has a relationship with DC. And so this, we were like, there's no way they would have DC and Marvel in the same stable as far as cards that they were producing. So it looks like they have lost that license and Topps has it now. So it should be interesting. Looking for, hey, Topps, if you're listening.
They are.
Marvel, like a Dynasty, like that sort of product with like a movie worn stuff would be awesome.
Yeah. You need the hobby to get behind some of these. I mean, obviously they're behind it, the Marvel, but the hobby get really behind this stuff. This would be fun too. But Anthony says, I wish people had the hobby knowledge of me and Josh. I just wish I had the knowledge of how to screw people like Anthony does all the time. That would be handy.
Josh is spicy on this Labor Day.
If Anthony's going to raid our chat, I'm going to chew him up, spit him out.
All right. Next story. Guys, let us know in the comments. Would you want to see this sort of release in the States and in shops like Josh's? That'd be interesting for me to know. All right. Next story. Can I just go to the next one? Nope. A small card was pulled this past weekend.
Here's the question. Would you take the $1 million bounty, or would you hang on to the card, or would you try to sell it immediately through another avenue?
Oh, you got to take the money and run. That's the song, right?
Here's devil's advocate. I'm probably in that boat too, but here's devil's advocate. If someone's willing to pay $1 million for it, why not run it at auction? Start the bidding at $1 million. You got nothing to lose. Your $1 million buyer buys it, or you do run the risk of the $1 million buyer saying, you know what, I probably shouldn't have put that bounty out there. Maybe I just let this one go for $1 million. Or if there's another person or two that's willing to buy it. So here, one person in the comments said, I would PC it 5 to 7 years from now. It will be worth double that or more. Wemby is special. That is one gambler right there. I don't have those cojones to gamble with $1 million.
No, I got 2 words for you. Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Just too much could happen.
Greg Oden. No, I mean, Wemby's at least played a whole season and looked pretty good, but it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Take the money and run.
Yeah, take the money and run. Not even a question. Now, this card was pulled. The LeBron Superfractor was pulled. But sales, people still can't keep this on the shelf. And it's because of Wemby. His base autos are going for above $2,000. It's bananas.
Most people probably know this if they follow the shop, but the second hobby box we sold, the customer sat down in the shop and opened it, and he's fairly new to the hobby, and he had been seeing it all over social media. He's like, I want to buy a more expensive box. So he buys this box. He sits down with his son. They're opening it in the shop. I'm kind of talking with another customer, and he comes over and holds the card up and shows me a Wembanyama auto. And I'm like, dude, he says, this is what I'm chasing? I said, dude, yes, that thing's probably, granted this was Wednesday, launch day. I'm like, that thing's probably $1,000. And he's like, really? Oh, that's crazy. I said, let me look it up, see if any have sold. And I type in real quick. The last one brought $3,400 at the time. And so I said, dude, you need to let us take some pictures of that and throw it up on eBay. We'll sell it for you. He's like, all right, cool. So there you go. If you're watching on the tube, there's the one that was pulled in the shop. So I took pictures of it, threw it over to the eBay guys. They put it up there, and within 2 hours, we had gotten a $3,600 offer and took the money and run. So that customer did really well. But yeah, that was the second box of that product opened out of that first case. So that was awesome.
Is that numbered?
No, that's the base. The base, and I haven't looked in the last 3 or 4 days what the base cards are still doing. I would imagine still above 3. I would like to think.
Yep.
But another guy was in on Saturday, and he said he was traveling from out of town, stopped by. He grabbed a few blaster boxes, and he said he was traveling. He was in I think he said West Virginia the day before, and he was at a shop. He said, I was $600 into blasters. He was just sitting there opening, and he said, I hit a Wemby auto to 25.
Oh my!
I said,
goodness.
That what? And he said, I said, what is that? 10,000? He said, yeah, probably around 10,000. I think he said it's already on its way to PSA, and if it tens, it could be like 15,000 or more. 15 to 20,000. I'm like, that's insane. So even though the one of ones have been pulled, wouldn't you like a number to 25 auto? You got better odds, and it's still huge money. I've always thought the mentality of, well, if the $100 billion jackpot's been hit, then I'm not going to play it. Really? You wouldn't be okay with playing it and winning 2 million? Yeah. So like that's the same mentality in this case. Yeah, you can't win the biggest, but you didn't have good odds to win that anyway. So
exactly
the thing you had good odds to win would still be very attainable.
Yep. Even just base Wemby's. I mean, obviously he's carrying this product. It does help that this main image of the Superfractor is one of the stronger images in the product. The fact that they did really well. It still looks like he's in a Spurs uniform, and it doesn't really matter that it's not licensed. And so I think that's a strength. But
although the product itself really not good looking, in my opinion. I'm one of those that falls in that line. Here's what I don't understand. Why not, until you get the license, why not make every photo kind of like Wemby's was? Maybe like a portrait non-action shot.
Yeah.
And do clever things to hide the logos in a few of them and do close-up pictures. Because Wemby's looks really good. Then you see they're using pictures of guys going up to the hoop like this with just like a blank jersey. I'm like, it looks really bad.
Yep.
The card design is okay. I think it could have been better, but the card design I could live with. The insert designs are good looking, but just the player pictures are bad.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, they could have done so much better with their decision on which images to use. I mean, that was one of the few swings and misses by Topps Fanatics so far, is to use images that really expose the fact that it's not licensed instead of images to where it doesn't really matter. So, but we're going to talk about an unlicensed product here in just a bit that I don't think it mattered, and I wanted to get your take on that. Stephen Hord's card says the measure of a product in my mind is ultimately whether you can nickel and dime your way into breaking even.
I kind of agree.
Yeah, I mean, I could tend to. I fall more on the collector side of things. Excuse me. And as a collector, if you're exposing the fact that it's not licensed, and really leaning into it, and maybe that's what they wanted to do as a collector, that's a bit of an ick for me. They could have done better. They could have done there's thousands of images for each of these players that they could have used. Yeah. So, but yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's a thought. Maybe, and this is just again stuff we don't know, and so we might be being ignorant with this, but Topps could hear this and say, you guys have no idea. But maybe they're required to, if you make unlicensed product, maybe you're not allowed to almost be deceitful with it by hiding the logos. Maybe there's some clause that says you have to be open about the fact there's no logos. And if all your cards are just cleverly hiding the logos, I mean, that's a stretch, but I wouldn't say it's not possible, because you would think that's pretty much a no-brainer. Or the first print run of these cards, Top says, ugh, these just look like what that one customer said. Why is everyone in their pajamas? Because they're just in these
pajama party.
Yeah. So maybe there's something to be said for that. Maybe they're like, look, for 10% of these cards, we can hide the design. And they chose to obviously do that with Wemby, their biggest chase. But maybe there's some sort of that. When it comes to nickeling and dime your way out of a box, I like that too. I told a customer today, the reason these $250 boxes from Topps direct are $600 in my shop and $750 in other shops and online is because the resale price of the cards inside goes so high. So like a base Wemby card is $50. At least it was at launch. Just a plain base refractor is $500 for Wemby. So you got to think a Brandon Miller is probably $100. And so you want a product, if you're going to spend $600 on it, you want to be able to feel like, man, I could sit down and get $100 for my 2 bad autos. I could get, another $100 for some of my better hits. I can sell the Curry refractor for $40 and this card for the base cards for, the base rookies for 10. Before you know it, you're back to $400, and that was a miserable box. And so
Yeah.
I like that ability too. It makes it easier for people to swallow those huge price tags. But if it's like Donruss Optic football, you can spend $900 on that box, and your auto could be $40, and all your rated rookies could add up to $40, and
Get
all
killed.
your 9 numbered cards could add up to $100. You're $180 into a $900 box, and it makes it really hard for people to take that gamble. So it's the ceiling of what you could pull from this product jacks the price
floor
up so high.
Yeah.
But you can't nickel and dime your way out of it very easily. And so the products you can do that with tend to sell really good, i.e. unlicensed Donruss baseball. You can nickel and dime your way out of that. Really, that Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary, you cannot get anything big out of a box and nickel and dime your way back up to your $150 price. So I get what he's saying there, and I kind of agree. And Avery says he's not a fan of the card designs in general. I think most people are with you there.
All right. Last hobby news story. Pull this up. And this one, I really wanted to get your take on.
Is it composite, or are we getting there yet?
Yes, it's composite. It's so I think there's two for me, two like dark horses for card design of the year. And this one, it like comes to the top every year for me that it's been released. I think this is maybe the 3rd year, maybe the 4th year of this new iteration. I know this is an older product that Topps has sort of revived, but Topps Pristine, to me, number one, love the design. Number two, all the autos are on card in Pristine. And it's so good. It takes these action shots and puts them on display. Love this. So I think it's Topps Pristine is one of them. And the other one for me is, where are you? I'm like, I need to share my window or my tab. Hold on. Doing this wrong. Where are you, Jacob?
And I've got some cards for this next product right here in front of me.
So it's either Topps Pristine for me or Topps Composite football, which is unlicensed. This is bananas to me. That and this is off of the, I believe this would be like Topps Cosmic Chrome, right, Josh? This
that would be the like Cosmic.
Either Cosmic or Finest. One of the two.
Cosmic. That's Cosmic for sure. Okay. Yep, I have a Brady right here in front of me.
So, what do you guys think? Josh, first you. What do you think between Pristine or between Cosmic?
Yeah,
or Topps Composite.
Composite. I'm still going Pristine because it is truly licensed, and you're going to pay a little bit more for it, and all the autos are on card. It's a better looking product for sure. Composite just did how you do an unlicensed product. And maybe this shoots out my argument because they were. Now with NFL, it's a little easier because really you just got to hide the helmet because there's not a lot of team logoing on the jersey, just a little bit on the edge of the sleeves maybe. But you get all the colors and the stripes and the everything good. So yeah, they did an awesome job. All my customers that were opening this all weekend long were just noticing like it doesn't look that unlicensed. And if you make my screen bigger, so I've been snagging little base card Brady's off of people. I'll show you. Here's the Topps Midnight. I mean, outside of the side of the helmet, which you could barely tell, and the sleeve that normally has a Patriot head, that looks pretty licensed. And let me just show several others. So this was just an old Topps base card, but again, not licensed. But you put this next to the original one, it's going to look really close. I did pick up a refractor off of that's hard to see the refractingness, but that's the little Topps Chrome refractor. The cosmic, because these are all baseball products that you can see the helmet a little bit more there, but the card design is so cool. Gallery, another baseball product. There we go. Another gallery variation there. That's again, cool. It's looking really close to so Topps Chrome Black, which is a good baseball product. There's the
wow
Brady card there. Someone pulled the Bryce Young number to 25. I posted on Instagram of that card, a rookie, non-auto, just the number to 25. It looks so good. It totally looks like a Panthers card. So there's an old throwback Brady. Those are just super base cards, and there's the I showed the refractor version, but I got the non-refractor version there. So big time throwback. This product is loaded with the Peyton Mannings and the John Elways and Dan Marinos and Tom Brady's. It's loaded with that product along with all the rookies. So I agree.
So let's catch up on some comments. And this is back to unlicensed, the argument for unlicensed and versus licensed. I understand the collector perspective. The primary issue is that isn't the majority in the hobby, at least at the moment. Most are hunting eventual profit for better or worse. If they get smoked, they're likely to disappear for a while rather than continue to participate.
Yeah, I think he's piggybacking off the comment of being able to nickel and dime your way out of the boxes. So yeah, you're right. I've had people, they'll spend $1,000 on a box, pull $100 worth of cards, and they're like, I think I'm gonna chill for a little bit. This is too much. I just lost too much money. This is too hard to. So yeah, grab some guidance from whatever card shop you go into. If they're honest, grab a little guidance from them. I'll tell people, look, that $800 box of optic up there, that one could sting. So make sure you got that type of money to lose. And if so, your ceiling could be high and you could do awesome. But if you're needing to nickel and dime your way out of this box, then I'd probably stay away from that product. And I guide customers that way as best I can, but Avery, we did have some of that Topps composite. We are sold out completely as of about an hour ago. So I will post on socials if I get more coming.
I'm going to throw this out there with regards to the football unlicensed versus the basketball unlicensed. I think it helps. that they have helmets on. Like, I feel like you mentioned it. Some of the helmets, you can hide the logo because of the shine of it. But for some reason, a football uniform, you're used to just seeing dudes out there and you don't really know who it is except for the name on the back.
Yeah.
And I think that, plus the fact that some of those Brady's, those were throwback designs of former Topps cards, right? Or no?
Yeah.
So they're playing off of cards that people have already seen before.
Yeah. Your brain paints it as an licensed
absolutely. And they're not seeing that it doesn't have a logo. They're seeing a player in uniform colors and stances that they're familiar with.
And you've got
clearly a New England uniform.
Yeah. And it helps because they've got towels and armbands and helmets and gloves and all that other stuff. With the NBA guys, they're just in a jersey with a big team logo or team name on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is more noticeable. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, let us know what you think. What is your favorite card design so far in 2024? Pristine wins for me because they haven't come out with Stadium Club yet. But until then, Pristine. All right.
And
Josh.
we have it on the shelf at the shop. So Pristine.
There you go. You showed off the Brady's. You jumped the gun. Do you have any other cards from the vault other than the Brady's?
I don't. But if you want to see a bunch of Topps composite hits and some other goodies that got pulled on Saturday, just go to the store's main Facebook page or the main store's Instagram page, because I was posting hits from the shop as they were being pulled over on those.
Fantastic. All right. Before you give us your crazy stat of the week and wrap things up for us, guys, if you've made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. Josh, end things with a banging stat of the week.
So it's not banging, but it is pretty interesting. My stat source this week was a little light. It involves Barry Bonds again, but it also involves Ohtani at the same time. Before that, you'll notice us plus other shops plus Topps themselves advertising Hobby Rip Night coming up. So they're going to start, Topps is going to start advertising it tomorrow along with us. And I think some other shops have already been advertising it, but we will participate. You'll see some marketing from us on it soon. I think it's September 16th, I want to say, maybe. More details to come. But if you're local and you like our Rip Nights / kind of trade nights at the shop, stay tuned. That's coming up in a couple weeks. But my stat is simple. We know Ohtani's having a killer year, right? If you put his year this year, which is a killer MVP caliber year, it would be Barry Bonds' 11th best season. Did you see that?
Yeah, the Dan Le Batard.
Oh, I didn't see it there. I saw it on I saw it on a Instagram or a Facebook post. But
yeah,
think of that. Barry Bonds was so good. Barry Bonds would eat Ohtani's lunch. I think that's the expression. But I got nothing against Ohtani. He's unreal. But Barry Bonds is the man, was the man. 11th best. He's had 10 better seasons. That's like a career for some people. 10 better seasons than Ohtani's huge year this year.
Yeah. Well, now, if Ohtani gets the 50-50, we'll see.
All right. Yeah, that should bump it up. Maybe 5 best.
That should. All right. Josh, thanks for taking some time out. Guys, thanks for your comments. Killer yearless. Betting props. He strikes out 5 times.
Don't bet his props. Anthony's ready for us to wrap this up. He's tired. He's tired of getting yelled at by me. So you know me, a big yeller.
Josh, thanks. I know that Mondays tend to be long days for you, but thanks for taking some time, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next.
We're open till 4. Come see us.
Absolutely. Later, guys.